how are ya? Oh, this is a freebie, because it's like the day before the equinox, and while not necessarily about moon phases, also, I've done a podcast episode on this before, but I wanted to just do like a mini check-in for my homeschooling families who have a little bit more of a whimsical way to them, with how we are celebrating a spring equinox at my house. The big thing to know is that in our house, these types of transitions are actually very important. The seasonal transitions, especially because we're in Wisconsin, like, you see the 21st comes around and you're like, yeah, it's spring. And then like a week later, it is blizzarding again. We take the transition seriously for lots of things, but not necessarily the weather. You know what I'm saying? So, our winter coats are still out and boots are still out for sure. But we are, from a homeschooling perspective, when we look at telling time, and with Miss Mags in the what grade is she in? Technically second, but she does work all over, right? One of the biggest things that she struggles with is time. And so I'm trying to break it down in a way so she can see a way to incorporate like how the wheel of the year works, how the seasons turn, how the perpetual calendar is truly, it's always a circle, always over and over again. And so we go through and we make a blank circle at the beginning of our year, and we start schooling with the fall. Like the first day of fall. I'm trying to think. Yeah, sounds about right. Anyway, sorry, I had a brain reboot moment. Y'all are gonna get some unedited stuff because I have a brain reboot moment. And I am not at home today to do all my fancy editing. I just have my phone, so here we go. But anyway, they don't call it feral housewifery for nothing. It's not like I'm curated or anything. So we go through that. We kind of fill in something for every season, and like we draw one or two little things for like what that season means. And then we add the date, and we watch our perpetual calendar to see when it's coming, and we start doing like little journals of what are you noticing? Like right now, I'm going to say that, the weather has been very, like it was really, really, really warm. It hit 72 on, I think, last Friday. And it was beautiful. And then a storm came in, and now it's not been above 38 for like a week. So that's just how this weather goes. You know what I'm saying? So we're just taking it as it comes. But anyway, instead of watching all the weather patterns, which we do, we kind of track some temperatures, but we watch things like, do we see more squirrels? Do we notice that the river's thawed? You know, those kind of things help us to know when it's truly spring, more than just the insane fluctuation of weather. The other thing that we do is we celebrate by refreshing our house, not just a spring cleaning, which I will have a spring clean witchy mama spell up on my Patreon here within this week for all of my witchy mama tiers. And we reset our house, kind of do a deep clean, not really, like we get rid of all the stuff and the boxes and things like that from Christmas, because I put all that in just one spot and I say we're going to go to the recycling center later. It's a lot. I got 4 children. It's a lot sometimes. Even when we only do like 4 gifts a piece, that's still a lot. You know what I mean? So, we go through and we decorate the house. So we pull out our flowers, we pull out succulents, we pull out all kinds of fun things. We try to add extra green to the house. We try to add extra pink and yellow and all these things. Sometimes we do a garland. Sometimes I'll get a wreath. And I love pulling all that out and letting them help me decorate, because it's their house too, We also redecorate the seasonal family altar. And with that, those we transition a little bit more to be kind of wheel of the year-ish, you know, whenever every 6 weeks we go through and we look at what the celebration is. And instead of trying to push all these traditions on my kiddos, we literally just sit and talk about, like, you know, this is here, and we pull a story, and, you know, we try to make it really simple. I try to show them the simplicity of it, the beauty that's in it, you know. Usually there's a little prayer that we do. We might have something special to eat, something like that. Speaking of stories, we also read The Little Witch Hazel. I love that book. I love that book. I have mentioned it in so many podcasts and so many videos and so many TikToks. It is my favorite secular, but still nature-minded, still a little whimsical book that is broken up into the 4 seasons. And here on the Equinox, we will be reading the spring section. We basically start the book all over again, and my girls love it. They love it. They never seem to get too old for that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of those classic things. Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to have a feast. If there are flowers up, which, if you can see behind me, this is not the best weather. You know, this is not weather for anything. I've not seen any of my, like, pre-spring flowers. Like, I've not even seen any snowdrops come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are my flowers? Anyway, we'll probably go through and we'll make, like, a fruit salad. We'll make probably some little sandwiches. And we'll have, like, a little summer feast with, usually what I try to do is I'll make, like, a hibiscus tea or something like that. I might do that this year. I might just add some food coloring to, like, water or something. I don't know. We might do juice. The girls are getting kind of into juice now, so we might do some juice. Who knows? Juice isn't bad as long as it's in moderation. Don't guilt yourself over your kids liking juice, okay? If you can drink a Diet Coke every so often. If you can drink anything other than water every so often, your kids can have juice every once in a while. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt them. Moderation in all things. Let's see, what else do we do? Usually if the weather is fair, we will have a cookout, and I'll have them, I know it's not an actual bonfire, but after all the food is made, I'll go through and we'll all write some wishes for what we want to do for the season, and we'll burn it on what's left in the coals, right? And we'll just let that smoke go up, and I'm telling them, you know, the wishes are being carried on the wind, and you just gotta hope really hard. And usually that settles them pretty good. They like doing that. We do have those instances in the summer when we have our fires for, like, our midsummer event. But also this is about the time, if we have not had Easter yet, and some years, obviously, Easter is after the equinox, and some years it's during. This is usually the time that I go and start planning the Easter baskets, and we talk about why we paint the eggs, which is the Mary Magdalene story, and then why it's important to celebrate the coming of spring and the coming of the sun returning to the earth, and the synchronicity between the religion the pagan traditions and the Christian religion. I talk a lot about that in Discovering Christian Witchcraft. But I bring those together not as a Christian stole our thing, because that's not what happened. It's to keep the traditions alive in my family. That's been passed on from, and y'all's family probably did it too, you know? It was the malicious compliance as Christianity was sweeping through. Oh yeah, sure, we'll be Christians if you don't kill us, absolutely. And then they still do other things. It's, oh, this fire is for Jesus. This fire is for Jesus. This is a Jesus fire, absolutely. I'm just saying. There are many instances of that in history, and I like keeping that idea of malicious compliance alive. So, anyway, I hope y'all have a really good spring equinox. And I hope that as the seasons change and as the weather turns, that y'all find some things to be hopeful about. You know, things are really hard right now. And whether you're homeschooling or not, it's hard to it's hard to raise the strong for the next generation to come up and still be strong yourself. It's hard right now, and I understand. So I hope y'all find something to hope for. Teach hope along with everything else you're teaching. And you guys have a wonderful and blessed Equinox. Bye now.